The 75th anniversary of the Aberdeen Dad Vail Regatta on 6ABC is brought to you by Lee Collegiate Outfitters, passionate about creating the finest authentic collegiate sportswear.
We are now getting to the meat of our schedule here at the 75th anniversary Aberdeen Dad Vail Regatta. This is the women's varsity heavyweight 8 open final, one of our featured races. Let's go ahead and get you set up for this. In lane 6, Duquesne, followed by UMass in lane 5. Grand Valley in lane 4, Bucknell in lane 3. Bucknell, we'll talk about this. Heartbreak last year in this event. Temple in lane 2, and in lane 1, closest to the bottom of your screen, most of our camera vantage points will be the Flyers of Dayton.
Yeah, premier event, just an absolutely premier event. This is one of the races that everybody comes down to the Dad Vail to see. Bucknell. Last year, a heartbreak at the finish. They came away with silver. They led for about 1,850 meters and just got nipped at the line by the Duke Blue Devils, the Lady Blue Devils, who came away with the gold last year. And another terrific story in this boat, lane 2, the Temple women. In their heat, they actually lost their rudder and came in dead last of all the boats in that race. They were able to row later on in that afternoon on Friday in the repechage, which is a French word for retry. It's what they shuffle the boats around into other races, and they came away winning their reps, looking the classic field by several lengths of open water, and now they're in the mix here. Very competitive in the semifinal as well. Now they're in the mix here to do something on the podium.
So they lose their rudder. How frantic could that possibly be to get that boat fixed and back on the water?
Oh, in the race, it's just terrible. You have no control over what direction you're going to go in. They actually placed 9 minutes in that race. Just terrible. Luckily, though, it was 2-5 to the rep, and they were able to get their boat fixed and come out and be in this grand final. They also have a lot of local girls. 3 girls from mainland, Paige O'Sullivan that we just saw. Also Cox and Kelsey Franks and Joanna Suter. Sisters Jackie and Janine Lees in the 3 and 5 seed, local Philadelphia standouts.
Archbishop Prendergast, yeah. In Upper Darby. So yeah, very good hometown crowd there from that Temple squad. Grand Valley out to an early lead, 35, very strong, 35 and a half strokes a minute. Grand Valley typically very competitive in this field as well.
What does it mean to be in the lead at this portion as they go under Strawberry Mansion Bridge?
Well, it's a big deal. I mean, you're a third of the way in the race. The pain starts to set in, and you're starting to doubt every bad deed that you have ever done. Your heart rate is reaching maximum capacity here. So it is a big deal, and especially this Grand Valley crew looking very strong here. Looking very strong to be out by this much. They look like they're stroking about 37 strokes a minute. Now we saw, Deuces, you asked us earlier about some of these lower readings, 32, 33, 34 stroke. 37 strokes a minute is a very high tempo for this type of water, but they look like they're handling it brilliantly. The Grand Valley Lakers.
Trying to hold off Bucknell right now. Bucknell appears to be in second place. They're not looking for heartbreak again after what happened to them at the finish last year, losing to Duke.
Oh, no. Most of their crew returns from last year, and you can bet that they worked every second in that offseason thinking about that second-place finish. So close, that .2.
Yeah, but it seems that UMass boat there out in lane 5 there, coached by Jimmy Dietz, the 3-time Olympian, moving up into second place past the Bucknell women. The Bucknell women seem to be, the Bisons just seem to be falling behind the pace of this race. They may not have been able to sustain that rating into this win, but Grand Valley mounting in a terrific assault here in their lead that they have. Open water, again, we measure everything by the length of the boat, so a whole width of an 8 looks like to be 1 length open water over the second place UMass Minutemen.
And Grand Valley, just another incredible story. Their river flooded, and for 3 weeks they had to evacuate their boathouse. They just got back in literally days before they had to leave for Philadelphia. And I hear from the coaches that the athletes were just incredible about the whole story. When asked if there was anything interesting about their team, they didn't even think to mention this story. And can you imagine not being in your home boathouse for damaged. It's just a huge thing to happen in your season.
The Bison's responding there to UMass's charge there. So the Bison's in lane 3 trying to mount an assault there on lane 5. The Amherst Minutemen trying to get back that back into that silver medal position. But it just seems like these three crews trying to leave everybody else behind. Duquesne in lane 6 all the way on the outside, on the outskirts there, trying to sneak back in up to the podium. But with 1/3 of the race to go here as we come, or excuse me, the last quarter of the race, Grand Valley just absolutely dominating this this women's D1 final.
Looks like we're going to have a pretty tight race for second place between UMass and Bucknell. As you see, as you mentioned, they're several meters behind the leader right now, Grand Valley. Grand Valley out to a big lead. And again, it bears repeating again, it's no coincidence that we've seen a lot of leaders come out of lane 4.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of leaders come out of lane 4. Yep, the seeding works. The seeding progression works. How they initially seed them into the first heats and stuff, and then they progress on to the semifinals.
But this UMass completely playing spoiler, I think, in that second place spot. Never would have thought to see them there.
Yeah,
they're making a great push.
Bucknell really wanted to win the gold this year because they lost by that foot last year. But now UMass really spoiling, and Duquesne moving up on Bucknell as well. Duquesne going to try to challenge for that bronze medal position.
Listen to the crowd as Grand Valley's taking the lead. And it is Grand Valley crossing the finish line first, close here for second.
And it's just the Minutemen by about 9 feet, it looked like, over the Bucknell Bisons.
So Bucknell, as you mentioned, looking to avenge that narrow defeat to Duke last year in the women's varsity heavyweight 8. They finish in 3rd, but your unofficial first place winners, Grand Valley. What must that feel like, Alex?
Oh, I could only imagine. It is unbelievable. Women's varsity 8 winner. Nothing like it.
Absolutely exhaustion, but still congratulating each other.
See how excited they are.
Let's take a look at what they look like as they cross the finish line. Grand Valley, the unofficial winner of the women's varsity heavyweight 8 open final. Jubilation for Grand Valley.